Hello, Laoshi Lawrence McElroy here again with another in this short pre-recorded series addressing the 5 root goals of Tai Chi: regulating the body, regulating the breath, regulating the mind, regulating the Qi, and regulating the spirit. This is the third installment, regulating the mind, or Tyau Hsin. Our minds can be muddied with constant random thoughts and emotions. We refer to this muddied mind as monkey mind, wild horse's mind, ricochet rabbit mind. And a muddied mind is a tense mind. And in other words, just like we have to release physical tension in the body before we can respond physically, we have to release mental tension in the mind before we can respond mentally. A calm interior, a calm and quiet mind is an important ingredient in our ability to respond on both the physical and mental planes. When we have a calm mind, we're better able to avoid knee-jerk reactions and better able to cultivate the ability to step back, to take an overview of the situation and to respond accordingly with a fresh perspective. Now, this calm mind can also aid in our ability to cope with stress and our ability to deal with change. Now, let's not kid ourselves. Stress and distraction are choices. Yes, we all have stressors in our lives: finances, schedules, relationships, and such things as the coronavirus crisis. But stressors will only cultivate stress within us. Distractions will only become distractions when we allow them to be. Take that person sitting next to you, your single-serving friend on your cross-country flight, who's popping their gum. Doesn't have to really be a bother. The dog barking in your neighborhood constantly, never shutting up, doesn't have to be an issue unless we allow it to become an issue. It brings to mind a certain joke I tell as a temple story in classes from time and time again. There's a presser introducing the 200-year-old man, and he's taking questions. And the first reporter asks the 200-year-old man, "How did you do it? How in the world did you live to be 200 years old?" And the old man smiled and replied simply, "I don't argue with anyone." The reporter was like, "Yeah, no, I have a follow-up. It can't just be that. It can't be that you don't argue with anyone." "Yes, that's true. It is. I just don't argue with anyone." "No," the reporter still won't let it go. "It had to be in diet or exercise or something else." And the old man takes a pause, smiles, and responds, "You're right." The moral of our story is what we've been talking about. Stress and distraction are choices. One of the pathways to regulating the mind, to cultivating a calm and quiet mind, is meditation. And there are many pathways into meditation. But we also have to remember that meditation is not a cure-all. Meditation is not a magic pill. Meditation is not emptying the mind. Meditation is not a vacation from our lives. It's a pause. It's a moment for us to be quiet and with ourselves, not escape ourselves. Meditation is not a religion. Granted, there are religions that practice meditation as part of their religious practice, but meditation in and of itself is not a religious practice. There are many different ways to meditate. Tai Chi Chuan is actually referred to as moving meditation. And that's sort of a way to enter into what is meditation. Meditation is our ability to step back from our lives, to not be constantly thinking about what is going on around us, to contemplate our place within that chaos. You may not know this, but even if you do not practice Tai Chi, you have probably done some form of meditation at one time or another. There are many years ago, when I was seeking to cultivate a business-to-business practice. And I was doing a lot of networking. And whenever someone in my networking circle found out what it was that I did, the next conversation was usually, and so, I've made several attempts in my life to meditate, and I just can't do it. I just can't sit there and do nothing. And so I told them, I said, well, just what I was saying. You've probably already done meditation. And I would ask them, is there something in their lives, some physical practice, gardening, washing the dishes, running, in which, your thoughts and your worries of the day just sort of shed? And they would always come up with something. And I'd say, okay, the next time you want to explore meditation, as you take your seat, as you get comfortable, then close your eyes and begin to focus on whatever that activity is. Say it's running. How do your clothes feel? How do your feet feel on the pavement as you run? What's the wind? Through your hair, through the clothes. What are the sounds around you? The birds, the trees, the people, the traffic. Really create the physical sensations of what it is that you're doing. Running, raking the leaves, washing the dishes. And that is a good pathway to beginning a meditation practice. There are many other ways. Focus simply on your breath. Feel every aspect of every inhalation and every aspect of every exhalation. The basic Zen meditation is a count associated with the breath. To begin with a count to 10, you inhale for 1, you exhale for 2. You inhale for 3, you exhale for 4, until you get to 10. As that begins to become second nature, you expand it. You inhale for 1 and exhale for the other half of 1. You inhale and exhale for 2. You inhale and exhale for 3, and so on. And eventually the counting breath can go away. We often talk about images in our Qigong-based meditation that we do at the beginning of class, since it's not about emptying the mind in a Western sense. Again, thinking of the mind as a bowl of water, our purpose here is not to empty the water out of the bowl. It's to find a way to allow ourselves to simply let the flotsam and jetsam of our lives either, float to the bottom of the bowl or float out of our awareness. So images are a possibility, whatever works for you. The sun overhead this afternoon, is quite bright. It looks like it's warm. It's really not. However, that image of sunlight can be an image that we use as we start to build our meditation practice. Feel the warmth of the sun permeating your body and mind, dissipating or drawing out any thought or tension, any worry or tightness. One of our favorite images at Water Tiger School is standing underneath the waterfall. The waterfall is warm. The water is warm as it pours over you and through you, washing through you, washing away tension, washing away anxiety and thoughts, getting caught up with the flow of the water over the falls. A warm breeze that blows through you, that blows away the dust of the world. And all of this is a process that brings us to the point where we can become observers of our thoughts instead of participants with them. When you consider meditation as a practice of pushing away thoughts, you just give the thoughts more power. But as we watch them, we can see from where they rise. We can start to understand the basis of our responses emotionally and mentally. And we can reach a point where the mind becomes a calmer place. And that is the first step in the direction of regulating the mind. Thanks once again for your time and attention. If you have some thoughts, some observations, feel free to share them in the comments below.